Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda, and I'm checking out a 2023 Honda CR-V in the EXL trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 235/60 Hankook tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a metallic silver finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Crystal Black Pearl. And we have a steep sun angle this morning, and hopefully you can get an idea of what it looks like. It's a black with little sparkles in it, looking pretty nice, especially in contrast with the chrome here. But sometimes you can't tell some of the features because some of the features are black, so they kind of blend in. So I'm gonna point them out here. So right in here, you can see that is a matte black portion right in here. So if this is a different color, this would pop out and be more prominent. It does have a little wheel well ventilation there. Parking sensor here on the front corners. You can see one there, one there. There's also parking sensors in the back, of course. So this is the matte black portion. Then there's a gloss black grille. Now the badge, the Honda emblem here, serves as the radar adaptive cruise control sensor as well. And then there's this chrome strip that goes all the way across from one side to the other, going over each headlight, and the headlights are a multi-reflector headlight system. We first saw these in the Honda Civic, this style, where it kind of looks like an eyeball, where the low beams are on the outer portion of each headlight housing, and then the inner portion right in here is the high beams, and they work together at nighttime. And they work pretty good as well. You can check out my night video on the Honda Civic if you want to check out what they look like going down the road. These are the same headlight system. Now these headlights will probably work a little bit better than the Honda Civic because we have a higher stance, and a little bit higher headlights gives you a better view down the road. It projects the light further down the road. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, this is once again the body color being black. You don't necessarily see some of the features here. So this matte black goes all the way around each wheel well here and extends here on the bottom of the door, all the way around to the back of the vehicle. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle as well, and I'll explain why they do that in a minute. Now there's chrome strip around the glass here, kind of solidifying the glass, and there's a matte black pillar. Now if you were to tint the front glass to kind of solidify all the glass, now if they had the gloss black pillars instead of matte black, it'd be a little bit better as far as doing that. Now it has the body colored handles and upper portion of the side mirror as well. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity system with the ability to use this vehicle 100% just by having this key with you. Now it has a lock, unlock, the ability to remote start, open up the power lift gate, and a panic button. So let's go ahead and push that. So it's kind of a tiny beepy horn type thing. Goes off. Now it does have a physical key on the inside as well, and I have a separate video where when they first came out with this key, this new key for the Honda vehicles, I just kind of have a video taking it apart and looking at it and how to change the battery and all that stuff if you want to check that out. As long as the key's with you, it could be in a bag, in your pocket. As long as it's on the outside of the door, you can place your hand right here on this little sensor to lock it. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. There's a sensor back here. The key has to be on the outside of the door and allow you access to the vehicle. Now there's also a physical key location right here, kind of angled down behind. You see that right there in case you need it. It's only on the driver's side though. Now I mentioned that the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and the purpose of this, there's a seal down here. And this keeps dirt and debris from getting in this threshold area and keeping it cleaner than it would otherwise be, so it doesn't get your clothes dirty when you're entering and exiting the vehicle. So here's the inside of the passenger side door, and it's like an injection molded soft touch surface here at the top. And then this is like a vinyl type material, soft touch. This is enclosed. You can utilize this handle as a pocket as well. Then you have this texturing right here going on with the gloss black. Kind of looks similar to a carbon fiber type surface. This is all that injection molded stuff here, so it's not a hard touch. The hard touch surfaces are at the very bottom, down there with the pocket. And then there's a speaker there as well. power seat here on the passenger side. Now it doesn't go up and down, it just goes forward and back, and then tilt the back here. This one is equipped with the black leather trim seats, looking really nice. It's not a super complex design, but it does look really nice. It does have the really small micro perforations in the seat. Then you have the stitchings here as well. Really impressive and very comfortable seats. Very impressed so far with the comfort of these seats. And these are heated seats as well. Plenty of legroom here in the front. Now the floor mats are not in place yet. We can give you an idea of what it looks like. Plenty of room in here, especially here in the front. Glove compartment is locking, and it has a smooth plastic on the inside, pretty standard size. And check out this dash. It has this is a metal honeycomb grill right here that's covering up and hiding the vent, so it kind of gives it a solid structure all the way across. You have more gloss black going on, and then the dash is that injection molded type material that you saw on the door. It's a non-reflective, and it's also soft touch as well. The opening here on the front door is fantastic. You have plenty of headroom, plenty of room just getting in and out. The actual seat is quite a ways off the ground, so it's very easy to get in and out. It's like perfect height for me. So that's like a major deal for me, getting in and out of the vehicle. If it's comfortable and easy to get in and out, that's a plus. The swing of the door is nice here in the front, but check this out. Check out this back door. We can go at a 90-degree angle, basically. Look at that. The swing of the door in the back is fantastic. And that's usually an issue. Like originally the Ridgeline had a swing was too narrow, and then they eventually had to open it up a little bit because it's just so hard to get in and out of the back seat. But check it out. Even though there is a little bit of tapering right here, lots of headroom, plenty of room, arguably more than the front as far as the actual room and the opening. The swing of the door is fantastic. It's just really, really glad to see this door swing so wide. So this back door, this is a hard touch instead of the injection molded stuff. So you have the hard touch up here, same styling there, and then the soft touch armrest, enclosed pocket, and the pocket there at the bottom. And once again, the door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, covering up that threshold. And the back seat is basically a bench seat. It does recline a little bit as well, and they do fold down to add to your cargo space as well. It has the latch system for the car seats, and check it out. It has them right there. Real easy to the connections. Real easy to get to. There's no plastic covers to pop off and lose. There's nothing to cover it up. You're not digging down in the seat trying to look for these connections. They're right there. Easy to see. They don't look bad. So that's fantastic. So it has an armrest with cup holders here. You can lift it up, get it out of your way if you need a center passenger. Now there's a pocket on the back of this passenger seat here, but not the driver's seat. And check it out, almost a completely flat floor back here. Almost. So if you need a center passenger, that should help out a lot. Climate control vents back here is all you'll find in the back of the console. Be nice to have some charge ports back here though. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a body colored shark fin antenna here at the top. Third brake light is at the top of the glass here in the rear spoiler. Little wiper right in here. Privacy glass here as well, around back here. The tail lights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs. The backup camera, I see it kind of as a missed opportunity because they didn't put it in the middle of the vehicle. So it's still kind of offset and in this kind of tacked on spot here. Doesn't look well integrated, and I mean it doesn't stand out like really bad like some vehicles, but it at least would have been better if they put it in the middle, I think, in my opinion anyway. So the parking sensors across the back, you can see them integrated here in the bumper. There's one there, there. These are reflectors, not lights. And then they hid the exhaust under here quite well. So they're not trying to show off any big exhaust tips or anything like that. So you can use the key to open up the power lift gate, or there's a button under here, you can just push that. So it's nice to have the power lift gate in this vehicle. So if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space, which is pretty good amount of space. So you can see on the sides, it's like this hard touch plastic, and then this is the carpeted area here in the middle. So they try to extend it as far to the right as possible to give you that extra space. You can kind of cram some stuff in there, you know, like these big cubbies here on the side. There's also bag holders and lights, nice bright LED light, one on each side. I'm really excited about that. Cargo lights is usually an issue for a lot of vehicles, so I'm glad to see they put 2 lights, and they look quite bright. We'll see what they look like at nighttime though. And then there's a bag holder here, 12-volt power supply as well. You can put a shade in here. This one doesn't have it though. You can get it in the parts department. And check it out, it does have a spare tire right here, full diameter spare tire. You can see a lot of insulation in here, and then there's your jack and tools as well. In this cover, you can drop it down, move it back, and lower the load floor if you want to. Now you can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split. There's a 60-40. You can fold down one seat or the other to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or you can fold them both down and have a wide open space. Now they're not completely flat, but it gives you a flat as possible anyway load floor back here, which is incredibly huge for the size of the vehicle, I would say. Lowering the power lift gate, you just push this button and it brings it down. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. When the vehicle's locked, it's locked. When you unlock the vehicle, it'll also unlock the fuel door. And it's a capless design. You don't have to worry about getting your hands dirty, opening up a cap, place to put it while you're pumping gas. You just basically put the nozzle in and you're good to go. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, put your foot on the brake and push this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now there's no floor mat in place, but it does have a place for it to hook in place here. In 2 places, keeping it straight for you. Accelerator, brake pedal, nice big footrest here on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. Now's a good time to point out the daytime running lights there, nice bright LEDs. But to open up the hood, there's a latch right here in the very center. Just reach in, move it to the right, and lift up. So there it is right there, just to open it up. So it does hold it itself up. It does have the shocks under here, holding up the hood for you. And the hood's relatively light as well. And there's seals around the outside of the compartment, helping out with the airflow and noise isolation. Now it does have any insulation underneath the hood, which is a little bit surprising, but it's still relatively quiet engine, all things considered. Now there's an insulated battery over there, and so this is primarily a front-wheel drive vehicle. So you can see the engines turn this way with the transmission down there. It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, putting out 190 horsepower, and it's paired to the CVT, continuously variable transmission. So the intake is here in the back, and the exhaust is in the front. So the air intake goes into the turbocharger and then gets transferred over to the intake there in the back. So yeah, this is an excellent engine. The 1.5 liter turbo, very impressed with it ever since I was able to drive one. Just a very impressive feeling vehicle. Going down the road on the highway use, acceleration is really impressive. Considering the size of the displacement, it's really incredible. Here's the inside of the driver's side door. Now it's just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. The blind spot detection system, the little indicators here on the side mirror, so that illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot or when there's a vehicle coming from either way. When you're backing out of a parking spot, it has the rear cross traffic alert, sorry. Power windows that are one touch up and down, all 4 of them. And it doesn't go all the way down here in the back. It goes almost all the way down. And then the door lock controls, side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. 2 presets for the power seat. You notice it has 1 or 2. There's actually number 1 and 2 on the key as well. So it'll tie in the user to the key. So that when you get in the vehicle, it recognizes the key and adjusts the seat to where you had it before. Power seat here for the driver's side. So this one, unlike the passenger side, you're able to tilt, go up and down, like a dentist chair, tilt the back, and then a 2-way lumbar adjustment. And the seats are super comfortable. Very impressed with the seat so far, sitting in it. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. So this is to open up the power liftgate. This one is to turn off the traction control. Default will be on. So if you need to spin tires, you can turn it off. And then it has a tilt and a telescoping steering column that you lock in place here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. I have the driver's seat all the way down, all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And you can see the amount of space for my knees is good, especially here on the left side. It's kind of dished out here on the door. On the right side, this is plenty of room right here. This is a hard surface, so if that was getting in the way, that would be an issue, but it seems to be fine. Now the actual leg room, I'm 6 feet tall, and this is a little bit, I could drive like this, it'd be no problem, but I probably would pull it just a slightly, maybe an inch or so forward. So if you're like 6'1", 6'2", shouldn't really have a problem here. So it does have a pretty good amount of leg room, but it's not like way far back to where I have to pull it up a lot. So the steering wheel is wrapped, and it feels nice. It's a little smooth. It's not super duper grippy, but it is really comfortable in the hand. It's not super soft, but it just has like this soft surface feeling that feels really nice. And the thickness is good too. So typically a real thin steering wheel is not, I don't really like it because it kind of tends to like dig in my hands and all that stuff. So it has a good thickness, and then the surface feels really nice. A little bit of gloss black, a little bit of metallic here. So on the steering wheel, here on the right side is the cruise control. And once you turn it on, you can set, resume, and cancel here. The adaptive cruise control system can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and also the lane keep assist is here. So it's pretty straightforward, easy to read, black background, white lettering popping out. You know, it's very straightforward. Here on the left side, the volume for the radio, change to the tracks or the radio stations, whatever you're happen to be on at the moment, like you can change to your Bluetooth songs or whatever. This home button and this little scroll wheel corresponds with the screen here. We'll get to that in just a second. Voice recognition is here as well. Windshield wiper controls are over here for the front and rear. On the left side is the turn signal, but it also has the headlight switch as well. So we have automatic, and you toggle on or off the daytime running lights. So it doesn't stay to the off position. When you let go, it springs back. So you can toggle on or off the daytime running lights, and then you have parking lights, and then headlights here. So the automatic function is the no-brainer default option there. Okay, so the gauges. Once again, we have black background, white lettering, very easily seen, very simple gauge cluster. Everything in this vehicle is very simple and easy to visually see, but also understand and use. So you have a regular speedometer there on the right side, a digital speedometer there in the middle, and it's pretty good size. I like that, although it's not too small. And then there's the odometer, outside temperature, fuel gauge there with a little arrow pointing in the direction that the fuel door is on, so it's on the driver's side. And then there's a digital clock, which is nice, and the status of the stop-start feature, which I turned off. And then you have the RPMs, the tachometer here on the left side. This little green thing is the status of your safety system, that just letting you know that it's turned on. But this information here can be controlled using these buttons here. So with the home, you have to initiate it, you push the home button, and then you can use the scroll wheel and then push in on that wheel. And the scroll wheel is a little bit rubberized, so that way you can scroll without accidentally pressing it by trying to push it too hard on it, trying to scroll. So I'm going to push the home button, and I'm just going to quickly scroll through to show you all the different options here. So I originally had it on no content, but you have brightness, gauge display settings, warnings, range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, navigation, driver attention, and then the seat belts. And then last but not least, maintenance, safety support, sorry, there's more, and then no content. It goes back to the original. So it scrolls through to make it easier to get to where you were to begin with. So the brightness is pretty straightforward. You just select that, and then you can, adjust it up and down. And I have it on maximum brightness because it's during the day, so you can see it better. Gauge display settings. This is where you can choose what you want in there. So you notice all these are checked, so that way I can demonstrate all of them. But if you don't want to have all those listed out, you can uncheck the ones that you don't really want to have to scroll past. Warnings, this would be like if you're time to change the oil, or if there's a tire low or something like that, it'll pop up here. Range and fuel, so this gives you the range you can drive with the existing fuel, the average fuel economy, which is skewed pretty low because we're just sitting in the parking lot. Don't let that fool you. But we also have two trips here. So trip A and trip B, you can reset those independently. Speed and time, so this also has so your average speed, elapsed time, and then you have your trips here as well. Audio, just whatever your radio is doing will show up there. Phone, once you pair your phone, you have information here. So if you receive a call, it'll show like the caller ID right there and stuff. Navigation is just a compass, shows right here. Driver attention, this is kind of like a little bit of a gimmicky system where it tries to let you know if maybe you need to take a break, that kind of thing. Status of your seat belts, this could be handy, especially if you have kids in the back. So right now I'm sitting in the driver's seat without my seatbelt on, so you can see it's red. When I put my seatbelt on, it'll turn green. So it'll let you know if there's somebody sitting in the seat and if the seatbelt's fastened. Maintenance, so in this case it's just the oil life, and it just gives you a percentage-wise, like how much time you have left before you have to get your oil changed. Safety support, so this will be like your blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, parking sensors, lane keep assist, and the adaptive cruise control. So if you want to turn any of these features off, you could do that here. And then back to here, which is no content. So you can have whatever you want in that area in the middle of that tachometer, or you could go into certain settings there as well. And it's easily controlled. Initiate it with the home button, and then the scroll wheel, and then make selections. So it's very simple. And all that information is there. You don't have to go through there and look through it, but it's there just in case you want to, or if you need to for whatever reason. All right, there's the red candy-like start button, which we saw. Now the touchscreen, this is pretty standard for a lot of Honda vehicles, and this has the screen protector, which is kind of glossy and shiny. I'm going to peel it back a little bit just so you can see that it's much more matte and easier on the eyes, but we'll just leave that on for now. Usually I take that off, but you can see it has a digital clock, which is really nice. It's large, and it's in that one spot, so your eyes can always glance at it when you need to focus on the time. But if you really wanted to focus on the time, you could go right here to this clock, and you can choose an analog or a digital clock here, which is really handy. Okay, so it has these physical buttons here. So they kind of look like soft touch buttons, that they're not. You actually have to press them. And so they're like physical buttons right here. Volume knob as well, and change through tracks or stations here. So you have color-coded tiles, which is nice. They look cool. I mean, it looks really nice. And then you have these like quick access stuff going on down here for your phone, the radio, connect to a cell phone. Now it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. So we go connect new device. So you have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and you will need to connect to a USB port as well. and which it has the USB-C and USB-A. These tiles are customizable. Right now it's just showing FM, but it has an AM/FM radio, of course. Satellite radio is here, and it has presets. It gives you album art and station art right here. Gives you quite a bit of information. You can also go into the sound settings here as well. Adjust the bass, treble, that kind of thing. Alright, you can kind of go through different genres and then different channels there. You go to a channel list, and of course the presets are really handy, especially with satellite radio because there's so many channels. It does have a trip computer here in which you can reset A and B trips, and then the current drive since the vehicle started. In my case, I use Bluetooth audio a lot, so I play a lot of music off my phone. I don't use Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So I just use that feature there. So that's really handy to have that as a separate tile here. And of course these buttons here at the bottom are really handy to go to specific things as well. So it's pretty basic as far as using it. It's easy to use. You have a physical volume knob and all that stuff. It's easy to see. And it's easy to, basically go to the ones you want, the tiles that you want. So look at this Honeycomb. So this is, they first introduced this into the Civic, but this is like a metal, like a little metal grate type thing going on here. And then there's like this non-reflective surface there. Kind of reminds me of like a carbon fiber look, but not exactly. Four-way flashers are there, and the vents are hidden behind this Honeycomb, and they're real easy to turn and adjust with these little joystick things sticking out. A little bit of gloss black there as well. So the climate control is here, and it's a dual zone driver. Passenger temperatures are here, which you can sync together. Fan speed's there in the middle, and you can see the temperatures displayed where the air is blowing, and of course you can adjust that here as well. Recirculate the air. And the rear defroster also turns on the heated side mirrors. There's also heated seats as well. So it's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and the passenger. Below that is the USB-C and USB-A ports here. 12-volt power supply, 180 watt max, a wireless cell phone charger, and this is like a very grippy rubbery surface here all around. And a lot of space around it, so you can utilize that as well. Here's the shifter. Now, it's a pretty simple shifter. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can check out the backup camera. So the backup camera has 3 views. And so this is the super duper wide view. And you notice where the camera location is. It's making it's offset, so you can see the tag there more on one side than the other. But the intention of this view is to have the super wide view, so you're actually looking down both sides of the vehicle, like you're looking to the left and right. So this is a really good view once you understand what you're actually looking at. But it has a more linear view, so you can look like, more natural looking. And then this is a top-down view. So there's different views there. I've gotten accustomed to this one. It really gives me certainty when I'm backing up, especially out of a parking spot or whatever. Because my vehicle doesn't have the blind spot, the rear cross traffic alert system. So having this view really helps out with seeing behind backing up. But also in this particular case, this one does have the blind spot detection. You can turn that feature on or off here. There's also this button right here that pops out, and it makes the backup camera smaller, but it gives you the parking sensors. You can see it has parking sensors there on the front corners and in the back. And if, let's say there's something beeping at you and you don't know what direction the problem is, it'll give you a visual reference of where it is in relationship to the vehicle. So this is nice to have, but you don't always want to have it up. Sometimes you just want to have the biggest view possible for the camera system. And so I like the way you can pop it up, or you can make it go away. You can adjust the brightness and contrast here as well. Alright, and then there's neutral, there's drive, there's a sport mode, and then there's a low range. Now the low range is for engine braking if you're going down a hill for an extended period of time and you want the vehicle to slow down a little bit and not zoom down the hill so fast. and then you're forcing you to use the brake too much and burning them out. So that low range is handy to have, especially if you're in a hilly environment. Okay, so here's the drive mode. So we saw that it has sport here on the shifter. The drive mode has eco and snow and normal. So that's your different options there. So snow mode would be, you know, it goes easy, it's taking off, that kind of stuff. Econ is just to save as much fuel as possible, even diminishes your climate control a little bit. And then normal is just kind of more of a blend between, you know, it tries to give you just a normal driving experience without revving it up and being too sporty, but also not being too sluggish with the econ. All right, so that's how you adjust that. And then the start-stop feature is right here. This, to turn off that feature, is that's the off button. Default will be on. So when you get in the vehicle, if you don't like it, you have to push that button. So this would actually, if you're not familiar with it, will turn the engine off when you come to a complete stop every single time. So, and then this button is this is the hill descent control. And when you press it, it actually pops up here on the screen and gives you so right now see it says 2 miles per hour. So basically this is for really, really slow movement downhill or uphill, depending on your situation. And it keeps you moving forward without slipping, the vehicle slipping too much, is what the intention is anyway. And you can turn it on or off here. The parking brake is electronic. You lift it up to engage it, and engages the rear wheels. It has a little status light as well. Hold the brake and push it down to release it. And then this is the brake hold feature. So if you want the vehicle to hold the brake when you come to a complete stop, even when the vehicle's in drive, it'll just sit there until you push the accelerator. Then you can activate this. When you turn it on, it lets you know here on the screen that it's on. So there's no status light here. Here's the cup holders, and it has these little arms, so they're articulating arms, so that way it kind of holds whatever you put in there. And it's open in the middle for handles. Also, you can utilize this space for other things besides cups. So I like the little arms there. I wish all vehicles would have at least something like that. There's a little storage space right here. It's just smooth plastic. It's not super rubbery there on the bottom. So that's a perfect spot for a pen or whatever. Armrest is here, and it's pretty soft. It's kind of, it has like this foam feel, and I don't feel any bottoming out, but it feels really nice. It looks really nice. I don't know if it's big enough to share with the passenger, but you know, it's up to you. Depends on how generous you are. Now this lifts up, and it kind of springs up a little bit so it doesn't slam back down on you. And it goes back quite a ways. There's a little space right here for this tray to go into, so you can take this tray out. Now, having a little quick access tray is nice, but you don't always necessarily want to use it. But it's nice for quick access type stuff, because this tends to get a little cluttered up, these type of compartments. So if you need to access something regularly, then you can put it right there. So that's a nice little tray to have. But this is just a felt lined compartment here. Nothing super special, but it's a nice, it kind of turns into the junk drawer of the vehicle. In you know, in addition to the glove compartment. The rearview mirror is auto dim. It's an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because they have the shade over the light sensor, which is located right back here. You can turn that feature off by pushing that button. All right, so you have these little reading lights here and here. There's also little ambient lights here and here to kind of fill in at nighttime to give you a little bit better visibility. You could turn on all the interior lights with that button, turn it all off, or have it in the center position here to have the interior lights turn on with the door. This is for the sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. The place for your shades, which is a pretty good size. You could put some really big sunglasses or safety glasses or whatever you want in there, or use it for whatever you want. The visor is a cloth material, just exactly like the headliner cloth, and it has a mirror with a light, one light, so it might cast a shadow on your face or something. This extends out, so when you have it over here, you can kind of extend it out, shifting your coverage over. All right, so here is the sunroof, and it has a shade actually that covers 100% of the light, which is nice. Open it up. Let's go ahead and tilt it. Tilt it up like so. Pull it back down. Now let's move it back. As far back as it goes. Taking a look at the visibility here in the back. Not too bad. I mean, it does have some really wide pillars back there. I mean, if you just look back there, but they kind of line up with the headrest a little bit anyway. So, I mean, that was my concern, but it has a pretty good amount of glass. So that little window back there, that's right next to the pillar, makes a big difference. But it does have some pretty good sized pillars. But I don't see how that's going to be much of a problem, especially since you have the camera system, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, you know, blind spot detection system. You know, there's a lot of technology in addition to just the actual looking out the window type thing. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to East Coast Honda here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'll leave their contact information in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.